Hello and welcome to the Quick Pick Show here on bookmakers.com TV. This is week 2, of course. This week I'm joined by 4 experts. They are the returning Darren Hughes, Charlie Mullan and Mark Fordham. And we've also got a debut. It's Cian Kirby in for his debut this week. Okay, we have 4 picks plus 1 from myself, which of course is the host's banker to make sure we don't draw a blank. Managed to land it last week, of course, with Tottenham engineering a kind of workmanlike victory over Nottingham Forest to deliver on the banker promise. This week we will go from International Rugby Union to the EPL, then to the Scottish Premiership. We'll have some Aussie Football League, remarkably, and then we'll go back to the Premier League for the host banker to get us all out of trouble. Next week, of course, we will delve into the US sports with the NFL touching down into gear, and we'll have some experts from stateside to give us their view on the gridiron. And so let's get on with this week's Quick Picks show. First up this week is Mark Fordham, fresh from a big win last week, of course, where he had plus 300, 3-1 Will Jacks to be top batsman in the 100, and he duly delivered. Well done, Mark. What have you got for us this week?
Thanks, Dean. Well, New Zealand are hosting Argentina in the Rugby Championship on Saturday morning, and I think the bookies are still leaning on historical data for their prices instead of actually what's happened in the last year. Previous all-conquering All Blacks have lost 6 of the last 8 matches, and they sit 3rd in the Rugby Championship table after 3 rounds. They lost a series to Ireland at home for the first time in their history earlier this summer, and also lost to Argentina just last week at home for the first time in their history. Previous to that, they only lost 1 in 33 games against the Pumas. And the fact that Argentina have been given a 13-point cushion after beating New Zealand by 7 last weekend is a bit baffling to me, and something I think that we can all take advantage of. It's tempted to go for an Argentina win, which is available at 92 or plus 450, but taking the points allows for a New Zealand response to the shocking loss last week. So I think take Argentina plus 13, 1-1 or plus 100 and run with the money.
Okay, even money on the handicap, Argentina plus 100 to take advantage of a teetering All Blacks. You wouldn't say that too often, even though you are wearing the All Black this week. Mark, thank you very much. We move on now to Cian Kirby. For his debut, we're going to the Premier League. Cian.
Thanks, Cian. The highlight of the Premier League is on Sunday at 4:30 when Arsenal take on Manchester United. I think it's fair to say both teams have enjoyed an indifferent start to the season. Arsenal look a new team with the likes of Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard, Saka, and Gabriel Jesus has been one of the signings of the season. And Man United, on their other hand, have been pretty dismal. First 2 games were fairly poor, and then obviously win against Liverpool was decent, but again against Southampton they didn't show much flair. And currently both teams are trading at the same price at 13-8 or plus 162.5. So I'll be taking Arsenal to beat Man United and make it 6 wins in a row this weekend.
Yeah, the Gunners to continue their ridiculous start to the season. 5 out of 5, going to make it 6 out of 6 potentially this weekend at Old Trafford against Manchester United on Sunday. Okay, thank you, Cian. We move on now to a bit of Scottish Premiership action. It's the Old Firm derby. Charlie Mullan.
Yes, Dean, I'm going north of the border for the first Old Firm derby of the season. Both these teams, Celtic and Rangers, have massive Champions League games next week. Celtic are at home to Real Madrid on Tuesday night, while Rangers go to Ajax the following night. Celtic can go 5 points clear if they beat Rangers on Saturday lunchtime. These games are usually very open and often very aggressive. So for my bet builder or CM game multi, I am going for over 3.5 corners in the first half, over 1.5 cards also in the first half, and over 2.5 total goals in the game.
Okay, expecting.
And the odds for that is 4-1 or plus 400. Sorry.
No problem. Same game parlay or a bet builder, depending on what side of the Atlantic you might be sitting on. And that's Celtic against Rangers in the Old Firm derby. Okay, Darren, you were all over the Formula One last week. This week, we're moving to Aussie Football League. Tell me more.
Yeah, we are indeed, Dean, and we're taking Fremantle to be winning half-time and full-time against the Western Bulldogs this weekend. This is actually a rematch from a game 3 weeks previous where Fremantle took the long trip over to Melbourne to face off against the Bulldogs away, and they fairly hockeyed them out the gate, but by 27 points. Saturday night's game is an elimination final, so it's a huge game for both teams. It's a real must-win, but Fremantle will be coming in here high as kites off the back of 3 straight victories. They're also bringing the Bulldogs to their home stadium, the Optus Stadium in Western Australia. So everything points to a fairly straightforward game for Fremantle. As I say, They hockeyed them 3 weeks ago. It's pretty much the same teams. There's no injury news on either front that would stop this bet from coming in. So at 4-5 or -125, 125 in American odds, I'd say Fremantle to be winning halftime, full time against the Bulldogs this Saturday evening is a pretty rock solid selection.
Okay, sounds like a good thing in the AFL. That's Fremantle against the Western Bulldogs, halftime, full time, 4-5 or -125. Now, the host banker, I wouldn't say got us out of trouble, thanks to Mark Fordham, of course, with his bet in the 100 last week, but we did pull it off this week. I'm going for a couple of teams that I think are hurting in the Premier League, and I expect them to both score. So both teams to score in Newcastle against Crystal Palace. That's in the Premier League on Saturday, 3 p.m. UK time. Newcastle coming off what will be a bit of a dismay after a great performance against Liverpool, not getting anything out of it. And Crystal Palace absolutely throwing away a game during midweek under Patrick Vieira. I think both teams will score. That's the host banker for this week, 4-5 or -125, wherever you put on your wagers. That has been this week's Quick Picks show on bookmakers.com. My thanks go to Mark Fordham, Cian, Kirby, Charlie Mullan, Darren Hughes, and of course I've been Dean Ryan. The bets are on your screen now. Argentina with the handicap to beat New Zealand in the rugby. Arsenal to continue their winning streak in the Premier League against Manchester United at Old Trafford. We've got a bet builder or a same game parlay in the Old Firm derby. You can see that on screen there. And an AFL bet with Fremantle, hopefully recording a comfortable victory over the Western Bulldogs. And then the host banker, both teams to score, Newcastle against Crystal Palace. This has been the Quick Picks show on bookmakers.com. Next week, we'll turn our attentions to the States. Thanks for watching.